I started off with an apprenticeship in comic strip when I was 18 with a comic strip artist, just me and him. I was very lucky to get that. I then went and did a foundation year at an art school. I then got into a band playing percussion as the bongo player. That band then got signed to a record company, so I ended up being a professional musician for 5 years. You know, I sort of kept up the art all through this, did album covers, t-shirts and stuff like that. After that, I managed to get myself into the film industry, where I worked for 5 years started in props and worked up through that to art direction, production design, and then being a first AD. Then I thought, crikey, if you're really going to take the film industry seriously, you need to move to London, which I was unprepared to do, and wanted to get back to art and drawing, and that was when the .com boom was happening. So I thought, right, well, let's get into this new digital media thing that everyone's sort of going on about, sort of around about 2000, it probably was, 1999, 2000. When there was a big company in Brighton called Victoria Real, who I went and showed them all my drawings and all my comic strip drawings and said, look, I can draw, give us a job. And they said, no, that's absolutely useless to us, drawing. But I said, oh, but also I can write, because I'd also been writing comedy as a hobby, and we ended up selling some stuff with some friends. So I actually got a job as comedy copywriter on a youth project they were doing. And then when I was in there, pretty immediately I could say, well, you know, as opposed to using photos for this, I could just draw you things. And so I ended up, that's where I learned Flash. So I learned Flash there, was illustrated there for a while, then went freelance, and then was freelance for a few years, and then ended up joining my business partner Seb and forming Plug-in Media. He'd started it a year before on his own. I joined him, and we've since got bigger and bigger. Before fixing on digital illustration, animation, and digital media, I was sort of thinking, well, I've sort of done this and that and the other, and I've kind of kicked around trying out all these different creative careers. Was that time wasted? And what I found is that it wasn't, and everything I've learned through music, you know, filmmaking, comic strip, you know, being involved in all those industries, freelance, you know, sensibilities, has all been fantastically relevant as creative director to have a handle on all that stuff. There we are.